All right, welcome back to another installment of Basement Boy Reviews, the Blockbuster Summer Edition. Tonight we got Warcraft for you guys. We just got done seeing it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's late as shit. I'm tired. I got to work in the morning. Oh yeah, introductions. Thor, Brian, Basement Boy Banner Production, Basement Boy Reviews, Warcraft. This video is mostly going to be Brian talking and me nodding my head and saying things. So like most of our videos. But I'm going to start it off, just give my little...
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah, spoilers review. Duh, we should have got that out of the way. Yeah, we got the... We're on top of our game.
Second time and we're on top.
Shh, why would you say second time? They don't know that we just screwed up the first one.
Who cares?
Don't even worry about that. What just happened. Warcraft. We just got done seeing it, like literally less than an hour ago. I really enjoyed the movie. Is it a phenomenal movie? No. It's a good movie. I wouldn't say a great movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I was very confused at parts of it because I'm not a World of Warcraft player, as much as that may surprise some of you. I'm not. But I had a good time. As being the World of Warcraft... As being the Warcraft aficionado at the table, how can I say that but not the other thing? What did you think of it?
I think because it's good, but I'm also insanely biased.
Right.
So it's unfair for me to be like, yeah, everyone should go see it. But like we were talking outside the theater, I think it's one of those movies where if you know the game, you're going to really like it, I think, just because there's plenty of nods to the fans. The story is familiar. It's cool seeing these characters in a motion picture.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even if you don't necessarily know Warcraft, I think you could still enjoy it.
Well, I don't know Warcraft, and I enjoyed it. So, I mean, I think, go check it out, people, because it's definitely worth... Dukers, seriously, what is with you when we're taping? Get off the counter. Get down. Shih Tzus. That's all I can really say. I enjoyed myself. You know what I mean? Not knowing the world like I probably should. I enjoyed the Lothar character. Mm-hmm. He was one of my highlights for sure. He was portrayed very well. He was very witty. The actor playing him did a good job, in that portrayal. Some of my, the sorcerer dude, I liked him a lot too.
Which one? The evil one or the good one?
The young dude.
The young dude?
The young dude. What was his name?
Oh my god, I can't remember
awesome.
his name. Their names
the young guy. The young guy who does magic.
I remember Medivh, but I don't remember the other guy.
He's the guardian who ends up being like evil. We said spoilers, people. But he ends up being bad, which you can kind of see coming because he kept wearing like a black robe with feathers. He wears that
even when he's a good guy. Because remember when there's the girls in the cage and he's like asking her questions and then all of a sudden there's the bird.
Yeah,
that's him.
Well, I figured that.
And that's why one thing he is wearing the crow robe and turns.
I didn't love
bird,
his character.
Yeah,
I didn't.
His character is. You're not necessarily. He's more a plot device even in the games, honestly.
So is he? Is he dead?
In the games, no.
Huh. I wonder if he is in the movie.
I think, and don't quote me, it's been I know my Warcraft lore to an extent, but I think he dies in the games too, but essentially comes back, but not as Medivh, basically through weird magic is revived to try and warn them, because he's the guardian. So imagine... And again, it's been a while.
He's the guardian of the earth.
Imagine it like the Gandalf thing. How Gandalf dies, but then comes back and he doesn't remember.
Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White.
Right. Essentially, that's from what I understand the same thing. He's the guardian and then comes back to try and save the earth again when bad guys are coming.
Interesting.
And that's where the third game he comes back and is warning them about something.
Okay. So he was all right. I mean, like I said, not my favorite character. Mm-hmm. The half breed orc human chick, she was okay. The king, I didn't like the king. Then I liked the king.
I think he was played weird, really well, honestly, because he's not so in your face that you lose sight of who's the main good guy on the.
Right.
You know what I mean? He doesn't replace You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's cool enough and good enough where you're like, yeah, this is a nice king.
I like
you know
his
what I mean?
armor with the lion on the side and,
then
stuff like
I
that.
love the base.
Oh, the
lion
helmet. The
he
lion
had.
helmet. Yeah, that
it
was pretty dope
sick.
too. That was pretty dope. No, it was a good movie. I mean, for anyone who's been waiting for a video game movie to break out, let's hope this is the one. Realistically, let's hope people go see this movie so we can get. I mean, we're getting Assassin's Creed. I think we got a new Tomb Raider coming at some point. Well, we know we do. She
Right.
just got cast. We talked about that months ago, sometime. Uncharted is supposed to be on the way. There's some video game movies in the works, and if Warcraft hits and Assassin's Creed hits, we're gonna see even more, and that's a
I
good
think they're
thing.
both gonna hit, but not necessarily to the extent of like it's definitely not gonna be like what the Disney Marvel universe did.
But that's what they don't need to maybe do that much, but they need to connect with a broader audience that's not just the people who play the game. Because Warcraft at one point had 12 million subscribers or something like that. Even if every one of those people goes out and buys a ticket, that's really not a great box office weekend.
Right.
I think they need to win opening weekend. If they could pull 40, 50
like you
million,
said, there's really nothing else out.
yeah, if they can pull 40, 50 million out of this movie opening weekend, I think the studio should be pretty happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
I know China destroyed numbers over there, which,
I think they're kind of banking on the worldwide because when we say 12 million subscribers, that's not
12 million
US.
worldwide
Yes,
subscribers,
yes.
right?
So the U.S. box office isn't going to be 12 million subscribers. It's
Right.
the world, which if China's done as well as it has, you also got to factor, okay, there's how many subscribers.
I'd be curious to see what the worldwide numbers are at the end of the weekend. At the end of this, maybe Sunday
Well, and
night,
we'll
I'll
see.
check them, and maybe we'll mention them on episode 60. Because by then we'll probably have the numbers when we do that. So maybe some of the things we didn't like in this movie. For me, it's got to be the orcs. I mean, I didn't love Dalton or
Duratan.
Duratan. There you go. The main orc. His arc I think was weird.
And see, as someone who's played the games, knows
Yeah.
a little bit more, I think his character was, again, like the King's, where he's not so much in your face that you lose sight of who's important. He's essentially, it's funny because you through the trailers and stuff, you don't view him as a background character.
Right.
But at the same time, he's more like the king, where his job is to essentially be more in the background.
Yeah.
The entire story, I would argue, is more centered around
It's Lothar and even the dude who does the magic, the young kid. It's more their stories and even the half-breed chick. It's more those three.
Like those three are essentially the main
if this was
characters.
Harry Potter, Lothar would be Harry, the mage would be Ron, and the half-breed chick would be Hermione. Realistically, you know what I mean? But like I said, I had fun with the movie. The stories, it's a decent story. I mean, it's not, it's easy to grasp. It's not anything we've never seen before,
right.
but it
by
makes
no means,
sense.
By no means do they, because they could easily overcomplicate it to a point. Like I was telling you, when you're watching it, like as a Warcraft fan, there are characters that they literally never name. Like all of the orc chieftains pretty much get a cameo, like of all of the clans, and the only ones they mention really is they mention Duratan, Orgrim Doomhammer, which is his buddy, the guy who had the hammer. That's Orgrim.
Okay.
And then they mention Gul'dan, and then they mention Black Hand, and that's pretty much it. Which sounds like a lot, but at the same time, there's like 5 or 6 more orc chieftains that you see, but they never once mention their names. They don't even say, "Hey, Grom, go lift that up" or something.
There's a lot of nods to the
even
to
that
the
little
game
kid
players.
when he's like, "Oh, I trust you to watch over my thing." He's an important character.
Really?
Yeah. Later, he grows up and he's like a really sweet knight and stuff.
Which one?
That little kid when the king's about to leave and he's like, I wouldn't trust any other guy but you to guard the kingdom. You're like a man.
Yeah.
That tiny little nod is for an insanely important character later in the World of
Like
Warcraft universe.
down the line,
he grows
and stuff
up
like
and
that.
he becomes super important.
And after watching it, that's one thing I kind of thought is a lot of what we saw was set up.
It sounds like setup, but
You know what
honestly,
I
it's
mean?
more nods than setup.
It was a good movie, but after it ended, I was like, all right, well, obviously they ended it perfectly for way more to come. but there was a lot of it was kind of set up for where the story's going to go, which I mean makes sense because they introduced us to the world, they told us a story, they didn't wrap it all up, they kept it open.
They didn't even finish the first game.
They didn't. Well, like there's I mean when it ended, you kind of almost felt like nothing happened, but you know what I mean. Like they
turned off the dark portal.
There was no resolution besides that. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. But like I said, I enjoyed it. Final thoughts. I'm excited to see good video game movies. I hope this is just the beginning of many. I would love to see more stories in the Warcraft world. I would love to see this as a continuing thing. I mean, with all this superhero fatigue we've been hearing about,
I think
video game movies could like jump in.
Push, and I don't even think this will replace superhero movies. I think this is something that can kind of push, because at the end of the day, video games, you play as a character. You're essentially playing a superhero. When you play the game.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like video game movies is that little breath in the superhero genre that can actually breathe a little bit of life back into it and make us lose some of that fatigue, because now you got Warcraft. So instead of watching Thor and Hulk punch each other, you're watching this Warcraft. So when Thor and Hulk punch each other, you're less bored of it because you had that Warcraft break.
Oh,
or
yeah,
the Assassin's Creed
the assassin,
break.
the assassins and stuff like that. So, your final thoughts on the movie?
I think it was really good. I think if you liked any Warcraft game, regardless of if it's 1, 2, 3, or World of Warcraft, I think you'd enjoy the story they tell. I think the more you know about the extended universe, the more nods you can catch. But that's true of almost any movie with an extended universe behind
but
it.
It's not pivotal to
you
enjoy
won't
the
drown
movie.
in it if you're a casual moviegoer. By no means
You won't
would
even notice it. There's a lot of things that you notice that I didn't even notice.
Like the people who are just in the background.
Right.
To you, they're just nameless orcs in the background, and you lose nothing with that.
I totally forgot about the little kid thing until you just said that. You know what I mean? So like for true, World of Warcraft fans, there's a lot of nods for you. For casual people who just think it looked like a good movie, it was a good movie. Good movie.
Exactly what most World of Warcraft fans would expect. It is a cutscene from one of the games built up into a movie.
It's a 2-hour cutscene. It's a 2-hour cutscene.
Which is what that's what they all wanted.
It is exactly what they sold the movie as. I don't think the marketing's been exactly what this movie was. There was nothing, mislead, because sometimes the marketing makes you think it's one thing. The only thing in the marketing maybe is what's the dude's name? Duratan. They make him seem like he's probably a bigger part of the movie than he actually is.
Which is an important character.
He is, but like you said, he's more of a plot device. Right. But he is important to the movie, but not as much as one would think going into it after seeing all the trailers and stuff like that. So let's give it out of let's do what, hammers? Orc hammers? Out of 5 orc hammers?
I mean, we could get let's do it out of Murlocs. You don't know what a Murloc is.
Sure,
but
let's do it out of Murlocs. Whatever a Murloc is, that's
that thingy that was in the water and it was like at that one point, and you heard people like laughing.
No.
It was when they were like crossing a bridge and they're on a river, and there was this weird little thingy in the corner, and it made that weird noise.
Okay.
That's a Murloc.
All right. Oh, I saw you and Josh were laughing at that part. Okay, so out of 5 Murlocs, how many Murlocs do you give it?
As a Warcraft fan, I'm gonna give it 5, but as a objective moviegoer, I'll give it a 4.
4? I gotta think about this. 3.5 out of 5.
That's rough, because you're usually pretty nice on movies.
Yeah, I am, but I enjoyed this movie. Just I just don't think I can give it a 4. I mean, I was thinking I was torn between 3.5 and 4. I went 3.5 just because some of the stuff I didn't understand.
Right, and it required some explanation. It
did. So that's for me.
Well, and honestly, the thing that required explanation is pretty simple, but it's staged kind of stupid. And it's sad to me that little part of filmmaking is what made the movie confusing.
You know what? One thing I was surprised with? How many people died?
Oh, people were
like, how many?
Slayed
and I'm
in this
like,
movie.
There's a bunch of characters you're gonna go in liking, and I'm just gonna tell you this right now. They probably aren't gonna be alive at the end of this movie. Just saying. I'm not saying names, but
spoilers. Lothar dies.
Oh,
not in
not
the
in this
movie.
movie,
No,
but
but
yeah.
later in the extended
Really?
universe, his ass, because the next thing that's supposed to happen is those orcs attack Stormwind and they lose.
The orcs lose?
No,
Or
the humans.
The humans lose?
The humans lose. They lose the city.
I could see that. Cool. The orcs are tough. So
The only person who stands a chance against them this whole movie is fucking Lothar. I mean, a couple of humans kill him, but I mean,
yeah, he's like the
slaying
only.
them like
well,
left and right.
him, the king was taking.
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He was cutting him
He
down.
was a serious king, too.
He was cutting him
He
down.
was
So
slaying
all
people.
right. Well, yeah, go see it, people. But let us know what you think too. I mean, you got our scores. Give us your scores. Tell us what you think of this movie, or if you're gonna go see it. If you're not gonna go see it, let us know. Let us know what you guys think. Until episode 60, you know where to find us. You know what to do. Deuces.